When you're thinking about a vegetable garden, you don't need a big area. And one of the things that you're going to notice in this garden here is they're raised beds. And the great thing about raised beds is that it almost forces you to plant just a couple of each item. And in these raised beds, there's lots of compost and organic matter. And that has allowed this vegetable garden to look great in September after a dry year. And in this garden, there's only, 6 of this, 4 of this, 12 of this. And if you look at this garden, it is filled with tomatoes, peppers, asparagus, strawberries, peppers, and there's more. So let's take a look at some of these different plants that you can plant and have right in your own backyard. Let me look here. There's nothing better than picking your own fresh tomatoes and eating them right off the vine. And as you look here, there's a couple varieties of tomatoes, only 1 or 2 of each type, and they're in cages. And in some cases, you might have your tomatoes, sprawling out in part of the bed. As I'm walking this way, there are strawberries that you can plant in this type of raised bed environment. This whole garden is about 50 feet by 50 feet, and you can have one even smaller than this. And as we're walking down, all of us know it's hard to find really good fresh asparagus, but you can grow that right in these raised beds. Now, normally for asparagus, it's going to take 2 to 3 years to really start bearing the fruits of what you've planted. And so they recommend for the first 2 years not to pick your asparagus until the 3rd or later year. Asparagus does like a lot of organic matter, and you plant them in wide trenches. You plant the asparagus and fill back with your own compost. And look at these peppers here, a variety of peppers, jalapeno peppers, bell peppers, but again, there's only a couple of each plant. That's the real key. In addition to having only a few of each plant, it is important to have what we call succession planting. And you're looking at all of this here, and then there are also some lettuce and some broccoli plants that have been planted. And you don't even notice, I didn't mention in the beginning, there's even carrots in this garden in addition to the beets. The other great thing about this type of gardening is that it allows you to dedicate a little space to try something new each year. It might be a new type of lettuce, new type of bean, or it might even be the artichoke, which we'll look at right now. And here is that Jerusalem artichoke, something new to try. Just dedicate that little garden to something new. You might even fill in with some herbs like the basil here, so you can use this in your salsa and things you're making. And in this 50-foot by 50-foot garden, there's even fruit trees like the pear tree here, and raspberries and blackberries. And even in this small garden, you can have too much. And as you see behind me, the Roma tomatoes are just ready to be canned. So you can even make your garden even smaller, and it will still give you lots of fruit and vegetables throughout the year, especially if you plant again and again in small numbers. I'm Mark Viette. Join me next time in the garden.
For more garden tips, go to inthegardenradio.com.